If you're new to Deception Bytes, hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wish to support the channel, the links are in the description below. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. Okay guys, it's Michelle and I'm back for part 2 of March 26th, yesterday's post. I've uploaded part 1, ran into a little bit of difficulty uploading it, so it took me longer to get back to recording again, but we're back, and I see you're back too, and I'm glad because I missed you. All right, let's get moving here. So the very next post, picking up from where we left off in the last video, is this, and it is a link to bing.com and search. So let's look at this. It's for the past 7 days. Q says nothing to see here, Q. And when Q says nothing to see here, there's usually lots to see. So let's take a look. All right, and the search term is QAnon, and by this just goes down through a list of 7 days of search results, and we can look just at the headlines and know all we need to know. QAnon turns on Sebastian Gorka after he calls them garbage. Right-wing roundup, the art of war. QAnon versus Gorka. The Mueller report is in. Get ready for the conspiracy theories. The fractal construct where humanity lives. And is that about QAnon? Yes. This time I had words of QAnon to clue me in. We are challenging the use of 1080, and we are a broad church, again, about the conspiracy cult called QAnon. Michael Flynn's family is at war with each other over QAnon. Fox News White House correspondent inflames QAnon. Fox News correspondent Kevin Corke posts, then deletes tweet flirting with QAnon post, or with QAnon cult. Yes, that's what we are. Right, a cult. Okay. Fox News reporter gives apparent shout out to QAnon, gets chummy with supporter. Attorney for alleged killer of Gambino mob boss points finger at Trump. QAnon. The reputed mob boss was gunned down outside his New York home, and of course, it says it stemmed from his recent obsession with right-wing internet conspiracy websites, particularly QAnon. QAnon turns on Sebastian Gorka after he calls them garbage. Trump-loving conspiracy nuts once again blow a prediction about the mass arrests of the president's foes. And of course, we've got some people wearing QAnon shirts. Yeah, of course. It's always our fault. The QAnon people. Everything's our fault. QAnon is attacking a random woman. Let me see what this says. In a disturbing and dangerous way. Okay. Instagram is the internet's new home for hate. Whoops. Let's go back here to where we're supposed to be. Trump retweets QAnon conspiracy theorists via Larry the Cable Guy to slam the TSA. Lawyer claims mob boss murder suspect was influenced by right-wing websites, particularly, of course, QAnon. And despite calling QAnon legit, South Carolina lawmaker says she no longer believes conspiracy theory. So there you go. And Fox News reporter quotes tweet from QAnon-related account on air. Oh my gosh. Well, that's news, isn't it? Fox News reporter quotes QAnon tweet on air. Oh no. Alleged Staten Island mob boss killer influenced by right-wing hate speech, lawyer says. Okay, right-wing hate speech. There you go. Trump shares old TSA pat-down video from QAnon via Larry the Cable Guy. Lynn Bennett, 5 fast facts you need to know. And of course, it's about QAnon. South Carolina state lawmaker has promoted QAnon conspiracy theory online. Oh no. Conspiracy theorists allege that JFK Jr. is still alive, responding sanely to Mueller. And there are crazier reactions out there, including ones from the right that allege, in the fashion of online conspiracy theorists QAnon, that every Trump travail is merely a brilliant step in Trump's whatever. We're not going out to that. How a QAnon conspiracy theorist claim of TSA mind control made Trump's Twitter tweet. People fell for Russiagate for the same reason they fell for Elizabeth Holmes. And of course, this has to do with QAnon, as all of them do. So let's go back. I think we've got the gist. And what Q obviously is pointing out to us is the extreme. We know something's up. We know that something's coming because of this attack on Q. I mean, it's worse than Trump right now. And we know how bad they've attacked Trump. So, but right now, it's all on Q. Wonder why? Anyway, nothing to see here, says Q. So let's move along. And again, this really tiny thing is a very small version of what we just looked at. So I don't think we need to look at that again, but this Anon has put this in a very tiny graphic, teeny tiny, but we just looked at it, so we don't need to worry about that. And says be careful what you ask for a screenshot of because it's so tiny. Bing QAnon news search results, and Q responds, just gives him an acknowledgement, but we have already taken a look at that, so we don't need to worry our heads over this teeny tiny graphic. Let's go on. And here is the next drop by Q, and he is linking to an Anon who has given us a link to Fox News Politics, and it says, bingo, I think I found the connection Q wanted us to find with the recent drops regarding the Antifa investigation. Q proof. The culprit of the Marine assaults last year was one of the masterminds of the harassment of Ted Cruz. Connections to high-level Democrats such as Maxine Waters. Q responds and says, well done, Anon, the anti-America party of hate and crime. Speaking, of course, of Antifa. We're going to go out there briefly, but we're not going to read it all because actually this Anon has pointed out the most important part for us. Antifa activist facing assault charges was tied to Democratic policymakers. Well. And then we have Maxine Waters looking a little bit like she has drank too much prune juice. And it says, what a difference a year made for Joseph Alkoff. On Monday, the 37-year-old has a court date in connection with charges he's facing in Philadelphia that include aggravated assault and ethnic intimidation for allegedly being part of an Antifa mob in November that attacked two Marines, Alejandro Godinez, I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, and Luis Torres, both Hispanic. Alkoff and two others charged in the attack have pleaded not guilty. And anyway, he has been charged, and that's what we need to know. And he is associated with some Democratic policymakers, such as Pruneface, Maxine Waters, Auntie-Maxine. I'm not saying she has a prune face. I'm just saying she looks like she's been eating a lot of prunes. All right, never mind. All right, let's go back. So, let's go on, shall we? Of course we shall. Now, since it's 11:03 p.m. Eastern Time, if you didn't already know that POTUS was going to be on Hannity tonight at 9 o'clock, it's too late. So, sorry. Anyway, he was on Hannity tonight, March 27th at 9 p.m. I missed it as well because I was preparing. I didn't dare want to miss the drops from yesterday and today because I think if I get behind at this point, it'll be all over but the crying, because there's a lot every day to look at now. I mean, a lot. So there we are. I'm going to have to catch up with this. If you know what was spoken about, I do know that Adam Schiff was talked about. I know that because of a few drops later. So I know that Adam Schiff was talked about. So, but if you know the nitty gritty, put it in the comments below, and we'll all know. But I am going to try and find it later tonight after I've done the recording. I'm going to try and find what he had to say on Hannity, because I'm really, really curious. Okay, and let's go on, shall we? We shall. All right, this is the next one, and it's a link to some text messages, actually. Or is it mail? I'm not sure, actually, if it's mail, email, or I think it's email. It's email. Sorry. And, all right, let's take a look at it. Andrew McCabe, outgoing. This is 11/15, 2016. So November 15th of 2016. 16 packages tomorrow. 4 may come separately because they still need to be signed. Andrew McCabe, outgoing. November 16th. Hey, can you call me on your way back? 1 flag for the SAC, SVTC, not sure what that means. Andrew McCabe, outgoing, same day, never mind, solved. Andrew McCabe, outgoing, an article to share. Trump offers retired Lieutenant General Michael Flynn the job of National Security Advisor. A person close to the transition says Trump offers retired Lieutenant General, or Lieutenant, it's Lieutenant in the States, it's Lieutenant in Canada, General Michael Flynn for the job of National Security Advisor, a person close to the transition says. All right, that from the Washington Post, and he links to that. And Andrew McCabe, outgoing, this on the 18th. I tried sending an email to, name redacted, but it bounced back. Are you still getting the redacted emails? Deputy Attorney General inquired about our plan regarding that FISA target. Who do you think that FISA target was? If he mobilizes, given the physical address he has, let me know if you got the email I forwarded from Tash. Now, the FISA target, I believe at that time, would have been Carter Page, because that is how they targeted Trump. Carter Page was the very first FISA application or warrant, and that targeted, that enabled them to spy on Trump. Now, let's go down here. Andrew McCabe, incoming. U.S. intelligence officials said the CIA has identified the actors who took possession of those stolen files and delivered them to WikiLeaks. The individuals are known for their affiliations to Russian intelligence services, but one step removed from the Russian government. That is from the Post. Let's confirm tomorrow with CY and CD if they have any idea what this refers to. Andrew McCabe, outgoing. Now this is, both of these were on December 12th, and they were 2016. By the way, Clapper told Pete that Clapper, was meeting with Brennan and Cohen for dinner tonight. Just FYSA for your something. And Andrew McCabe, incoming. Okay. Now, this is interesting. And we're not going to go out and look at this actual Fox News article, because Q has already given us what we need to know. The Deputy Attorney General inquired about our plan regarding that FISA target if he mobilizes, given the physical access he has. Deputy Attorney General plus number 2, McCabe, discussion regarding where a wire entrapment regarding 25th Amendment, the more you know. Now, this de-oppressor Lieber has done a very good decode on this, and that is what I'm going to refer to now. All right. Keeping up with Q and work can be a challenge some days. Q attaches text between McCabe and likely Lisa Page when comparing Fox News article Q links shows Deputy Attorney General plan to wear a wire with newly elected POTUS Brennan / Clapper meeting to possibly discuss this. At that time, Rosenstein was not yet Deputy Attorney General, which means the plan for Rod Rosenstein, or Rosenstein, I'm never sure how to pronounce that, but to wear a wire to trigger the 25th Amendment was in play well before Rod Rosenstein was Deputy Attorney General. Sally Yates was Deputy Attorney General at that time. So the Yates was likely in on the plan as well to have Rod Rosenstein wear the wire. You get to, and I love this, you get to go to jail, and you know how when Oprah said, you get a new car, and you, it's like, you get to go to jail, and you. Yeah, kind of like that. Actually, well, I think that's okay. I think we've done that. I could read this article, but let me tell you, I've already done, this is just one day's post, and I've already done almost an hour for part one. So I'm wanting to move through these, but I don't want us to miss anything either in moving through. So hopefully I'm striking a balance here, I hope. Now, the next one says the following. And it's Q is giving us a link to an anon here, or is referring to an anon who says, "Whoa, Q, these texts are from 2016, long before Rod Rosenstein became Deputy Attorney General." That's right. Isn't that interesting? So Q responds and says, if Sally Yates, she was DAG, Deputy Attorney General, during this period of time, what does he refer to regarding Deputy Attorney General? Was Rod Rosenstein planned to assume Deputy Attorney General at that point in time? Bake your noodle. Q. Now, I wish that I knew the answer to that, and I don't. Because she was Deputy Attorney General at that time. And yet the plan was to have Rod Rosenstein wear the wire. So I don't know. I don't know if he was planned to assume the Deputy Attorney General at that point in time. But that's something I am going to have to come back to because I just don't know the answer to. And I'm not somebody that's going to lie to you and try to pretend like I know something that I don't, because I just don't. And probably that's why Q said bake your noodle, because that's a hard one to think through. So anyway, we're going to go on. And if I find the answer to this, I will bring that to you at a later time. Okay, we are going on to the next. And again, Q is referencing an anon who is quoting from a past bread. Admiral Rogers would have had lots of access. I don't know. No, he's not. Okay, he's referencing a past bread. Admiral Rogers would have had lots of access. Didn't he turn off access to the FBI contractors? And that's a good question. And Q responds, think Rogers, Admiral Rogers, Trump Tower meeting, right after the skiff was set up in Tower. Think POTUS campaign leaving Trump Tower, base of operations, the very next day. 1 + 1 = 2. Q. Now what is he saying? Well, Admiral Rogers secretly met with POTUS on November 17th, 2016. Now I say secretly because he did so without Obama knowing, or anyone in the senior administration of the Obama administration knowing. He met with him secretly met with POTUS. Why? Well, it was to inform him, or warn him, rather, that he was under surveillance and that the Trump Tower was bugged. So, which is interesting. We obviously know that Admiral Rogers is a good guy, right? Otherwise, he would not have warned Trump. Now, this was directly after a sensitive compartmented information facility was set up in the towers. Okay, so they had just set up a sensitive compartmented, I never can say that, the skiff, I can never say it properly. Sensitive compartmented information facility was set up at the towers. Well, the very next day, right after meeting with Admiral Rogers, the Trump campaign vacated Trump Towers. Why? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? So that's what happened. Admiral Rogers told him he was being bugged, and the entire Trump campaign vacated the towers immediately after. So let's go on, and Q says 1 + 1 = 2. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I don't think any of us would hang around someplace that was being bugged. It's not very pleasant. Take it from somebody that knows. Anyway, anywho, that's a story for another day. Okay, so we've got this next, which is a great meme, and FISA-gate. And I love these, like that kind of mimic movie posters. I think they're great. What I saw is absolutely shocking. That Mark Meadows, Jim Jordan. It is so alarming the American people have to see this. Matt Gaetz. There has been a real attempt to undermine this president, and it comes from the scariest of places. Scott Perry. As soon as you read the memo, you think, is this happening in America, or is this the KGB? Steve King. The sickening reality has set in. I no longer hold out hope there is an innocent explanation for the information the public has seen. Great meme. Wonderful meme. And let's go on now. And so, again, we have Q referencing an anon, a little late to the table, I guess, because he says Trump Tower was bugged most likely. And Q acknowledges, like, yep, it was bugged. Yep. There were so many bugs there. There were probably bugs everywhere. And not the kind that crawl. All right, so let's go on. Because I know you want to. You want to find out. I want to find out. Okay, so here again we have Q referencing an anon, and this anon is referencing the Trump Tower thing, and said, I thought this was known by anons. And then Q says something very interesting, I think. Says, knowing what you know now, replay the story. Start late in 2015. Q. And I said, wow. The Obama White House started spying on potential candidates in late 2015. They needed the FISA to be a cover in case they were caught. And boy, were they caught. Yeah, and the FISA didn't do them much good, did it? No, because it was illegally, it was all based on false information, made up. So let's go on, shall we? Of course we shall. Oh, for heaven's sakes, what is wrong with me? All right, don't answer that. I really don't want to know. I like not knowing. Okay, here is the next one, leading, of course, to a Twitter account. And Q asks a very interesting question. He says, Loop Capital? What are the odds of that? Well, let's take a look. Shall we? We shall. And we are. Okay, this by someone called Incarnated ET. Well, there you go. And says Kim Fox. Now, remember who Kim Fox is. Kim Fox is the person that was supposed to be prosecuting Jussie Smollett, or the attorney for Jussie Smollett, actually. She wasn't supposed to be, but she was the attorney. Kim Fox is married to Kelly Fox, who works for World Business Chicago, where Jim Reynolds of Loop Capital sits on the board of directors. Well, well, well. What have we here? And there's all sorts of evidence, but I don't think we need to go through that. But let's go back to Q, shall we? Now, Kim Fox is married to Kelly Fox, which, that's supposed to be two X's there. So just disregard my spelling error, because that is supposed to be two X's. Kim Fox is married to Kelly Fox, who works for WBC, World Business Chicago, which has direct ties to Loop Capital. How? Well, Jim Reynolds, the CEO of Loop Capital, is on the board of directors at World Business Chicago. Loop Capital, of course, for those of us that have been following this all along, will recognize that name. Loop Capital seems to come up a whole lot, and it is a cesspool of dark money slush fund used to influence or buy politicians. That's what it is. A lot of foreign money in it. And it's just dirty money, basically. Dirty, dirty, dirty. All right. So, just another little, factoid, which is fascinating. It's a fascinating factoid, as many factoids are. All right, now let's go up to the next one. Why? Because we can. Now, this again is referencing an anon. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my, oh, hang on. I may have to, please get down. Oh, thank goodness. I had my last cat for like 21 years, and I've never been closer to an animal. I've never had a bond with an animal like that in my entire life. I loved that cat more than probably some people love their children. And anyway, when she passed away, I had her euthanized, of course, and I then had her cremated, and it was a lovely family-run business, actually, that picks up the body and has the body returned to you in an urn within 24 hours. And I thought, you know what, this cat has brought so much comfort and love and into my life that I want to honor the cat. I just could not put her in a cold ground. I just couldn't do it emotionally. I just couldn't do it. 21 years is a long time to have a pet. So I just about had a fit here because Sammy, I've got the little urn there, and Sammy was up like looking at it, and I thought, oh, please don't knock that urn over, because I don't think emotionally I could handle my cat's ashes all over the floor. Anyway, let's go on. That was entirely, I know you're saying way, that's way too much 411, but you know, I'm just who I am and wanted to tell you what was going on off camera there. All right. So, great meetings will take place today at Trump Tower concerning the formation of the people who will run our government for the next 8 years. Now, this is a tweet from the 22nd of November, 2016. Interesting, don't you think? And it's interesting because this Anon says, was this bait? Now, very interesting. Let me read that again. Great meetings will take place today at Trump Towers concerning the formation of the people who will run our government for the next 8 years. All right. So, interesting. That Anon says, was this bait? Yes, it was. Absolutely. Trump knew full well he was under surveillance at that point, and that Trump Towers was bugged. He sure did. So I put, wowza! Trump already knew the deep state was spying on him and was baiting them. That's exactly what he was doing. See, he was a master troller way back then. We didn't even know it. I mean, it's so interesting to go back over some of his really old tweets, and I think that would be an interesting project, to go back over some of his old tweets and see what was happening at that time. Now, knowing what we know now, to go back, because I bet you he's been trolling them the whole time. I bet you he was trolling them from way before he was president. And it would be interesting. It would be an interesting little project. Very, very time consuming, but interesting. Let's go on. Okay, now, here is our next, and it says, it's a link to a Twitter account, and it says, attacks increasing, becoming more and more outlandish to paint as crazy. Hashtag fake news. Hashtag facts matter. Q. Let's take a look. My nose is itchy. I hope it means something good. Probably not. Okay. Now, let's look at this. Hang on here. Let me stop this. Let me get down here. We broke down everything you need to know about the QAnon conspiracy. So let's get down here. Let's take this back. Yeah. Did you catch all that? I hope so. Really interesting. They are doubling down hard on Q. And isn't it interesting that it's not so much the president anymore? It's Q. Q, Q, Q. They want everyone to think that anyone who follows Q is violent, crazy, a conspiracy theory, that they believe crazy things like Hillary Clinton consumes blood and things like that. Yeah. Anyway, so let's go back to Q. And he just says, attacks increasing? Absolutely. That's not a question. That's a fact. Attacks are increasing because I think that everyone in the deep state and the cabal knows what's coming next. Oh, yes, they do. They do. So let's go on. Now, and then here, Q is referring to an anon in reference to what we just looked at. Says, does their stupidity ever stop being so amusing? Hasn't for me. And Q responds and says, badge of honor, patriot. Over the target. Q. And of course, when you're over the target, the attacks are going to increase, right? Absolutely. If Q was no threat to them, would they be even bothering to put this much effort into it? Really? I mean, have you ever known of any other conspiracy theory that has ever gained that much attention? Ever? I don't. If you can think of one, let me know because I've never known a conspiracy theory to receive that much attention. So that in itself says plenty. So let's go on. And we have one more post for today, and then we will be into the March 27th post. So this will be the last post, and I will finish up, and I will come back later tonight with, I'll upload this, and while that's uploading, I will record the 27th. So let's take a look at this. It says, sometimes it's good to go back once you've gone forward, knowingly pushing a narrative that is false/fake. This period is period CNN period, media arm of the Democratic Party. Think period for period yourself. Think for yourself. Q. Let's go have a look.
Remember this guy? You choked the whole thing out of context. We had a whole conversation. Why do you guys just take a little clip and a little clip and put it together? If you're honest, show the whole thing. Put the whole tape up.
Van, this is James O'Keefe. What was taken out of context?
You saw the thing yourself. You know what's taken out of context.
Hey, man. We met in Palm Springs a few years back.
Good to see you, man. You good?
Yeah. How you been? What are you doing?
I'm trying to get my damn Uber to pick me up. Like the same thing like probably half the people in LA are doing, like trying to make their Uber and Lyft app work.
Yeah, mine always goes, whenever I order an Uber, it always goes to the alley behind my building.
Yeah, it's weird. Supposedly you're completing a trip nearby, so how's everything in your world?
It's good, it's good. You've been in Oakland much recently?
I was just in Oakland yesterday.
Oh, really? Whereabouts?
We have Barbara Lee was doing an event downtown, just a fundraiser basically for the political side of her work. So I moderated an event with her and Keith Ellison.
Oh, right on.
So
right
it's
on.
good. Yeah,
cool.
Bay Area is such a good place. Sometimes it's just so big. I mean, they're just like...
They're hardcore.
Yeah, they're hardcore.
Old school.
Yeah, absolutely. How's everything in your world?
It's good. It's good. I mean, a lot's changed since we last saw each other. But I don't know. What do you think's going to happen this week? I mean, with the whole Russia thing.
The Russia thing is just a big nothing burger.
Really? You know.
Did you hear him? He said the whole Russian thing is a big nothing burger.
I think that.
Nothing there you can do. You get a break.
There's nothing there.
Anywhere you go. How you living? Yeah. Are you here for a while, or are you just passing through? Wednesday. I'll visit. Okay. Good stuff, man. You good? Yeah, everything's good. Yeah, just hanging in, trying.
So basically, and I don't want to play this whole thing because of YouTube. YouTube is getting just so ridiculous, but it says Van Jones accuses us of editing his nothing burger comment. Here is the raw. So, that's what he said. Now, I'm not exactly... The Project Veritas journalist who recorded Van Jones saying the Russian thing is a nothing burger caught up with him again at CPAC 2019. Oh, Van Jones is right. You edited out the whole Uber thing. Now I see how you deceived us. Sarcasm. So I guess Project Veritas, caught up with them, and he said, yeah, the Russia thing is a whole nothing burger, but then he accused them of I guess, editing it. I'm not sure. I'm actually not aware of this before now. I'm not sure if you are or not, but again, it seems like I trust Project Veritas explicitly. So they do amazing work, amazing work. They have done so much. So, but I think this comment's funny. Oh, Van Jones is right. You edited out the whole Uber thing. So apparently Van Jones was claiming that they edited something out when they didn't. So I guess that is the gist of what is happening here, because it said sometimes it's good to go back once you've gone forward, knowingly pushing a narrative that is false / fake. This is CNN, media arm of the Democratic Party. Think for yourself. So I guess there's Van Jones admitting that there's nothing to it, but certainly not what, is being reported on, or was being reported on CNN. But in real life, admitted to someone, yeah, there's nothing there. So that's interesting. Very interesting. All right. Well, that ends part 2. And so I will get this wrapped up and uploaded for you and start to work on March 27th. Actually, I already have, so I just need to record it. So that's what I'm going to do next. And again, I hope that you will join me back for March 27th. I'll be waiting. I don't like to talk to myself, so please come back. And also, if you wish to be subscribed, make sure that you are still subscribed, because YouTube has been playing a lot of games. And also I noticed, interestingly enough, when they demonetized me, and I have heard this from others, when they demonetized me, they don't suggest your videos as much. So my views are down like 304,000 for this month so far. So if you can share Facebook to Twitter, wherever, I would appreciate it, because it is making it very, very hard to get this stuff out. And yeah, I think that we're all aware of what they're doing. There is something else that they're doing that I would like to bring a video about in the future, and it's not just to me, but it seems to be all of the people that are reporting on Q and trying to push this stuff out to the public. They seem to have some fake accounts with Q drops, and what they do is they will take snippets, or they'll take the audio from one of mine, which they've done, and somebody brought this to my attention, thankfully. They had just taken the audio, put a different, screenshot for, whatever, and uploaded it to their own channel. Now, I believe that these are fake accounts. I believe that these are people that are working either for YouTube or the deep state. And obviously it must be somebody connected to YouTube, or it would get flagged, right? But no, my account gets flagged. And they are doing this. They're doing it to a lot of people. A lot of your favorite people that you listen to for decodes, they're doing that too. And what it's doing is it's drawing views over to that and away from the original people that are doing it, which means that you're just getting an audio and that's it, instead of getting the whole. And so I don't know, it's the whole thing is very interesting, the games that they're playing. But anyway, make sure if you want to be subscribed that you are still subscribed, because they drop that. Make sure you hit the bell to be notified of future videos. And I'll be here. I hope you'll come and join me. All right. Good night for now.